Hello everyone, this is Calvin Russell, CEO and founder of 850 Club Credit Consultation. Hope everyone's doing well today. Today we're going to talk about things that I've learned during my repossession when I was 21 years old. All right, let's go straight into it. So back in 2000 and I believe it was 9, it was either 8 or 9. Yeah, I think it was 2009. And my car was repossessed. It was actually my 21st birthday. I'm talking like that day, right? As crazy as that sounds. And I looked outside the window and the car was gone, right? Of course, how did it happen? It's real simple. I was late, multiple months late, consistently being late. And the car payment was like $232 at the time. Just had dropped out of college at the time too. And had started a small business and wasn't just good with managing my money well, just to be honest. So long story short, there were some things that I could have done. And I want to kind of break that down to you guys. I'm going to show you guys how I bounced back as well. So number one, had I paid the 3 months that I was behind, of course, things are slightly different now depending on the lender, the auto loan lender that you have the loan with, so the auto finance company. And I hope that this doesn't happen to you guys, but obviously things do happen, right? And so I reached out to them and they said, hey, listen, if you pay this particular balance, we'll go ahead and, let you get your car back. And they actually give you some time to kind of recover the car, usually within like a week, depending on if you have communication with them. I owed that amount plus the amount of the tow, right? Somebody's got to pay for the towing. So I didn't have the money. And I said, okay, all right, well, it is what it is, right? So they take the vehicle. Just in case you guys don't know what the repossession process is, you're obviously late. They take the vehicle if you're a certain amount of times late. A lot of people have different strategies, like parking the car down the street, around the corner, leaving it inside the garage because they can't go inside your garage. It's just, and that's state-based, by the way, so you may want to look that up. So, but because I've seen people get their cars taken, while at the office. I mean, like while at work or whatever. It's crazy. And when that happened, I said, okay, I need to get some things in order. So number one, I had no idea that there were banks that will work with you in getting a car literally the day of a repossession, a week of a repossession, because it hasn't shown up on your credit report. So that's the best time to get a car with another bank because your score hasn't dropped. So they'll look at your score. They know you're going to get a repossession. But if your income's at a certain point, you actually may qualify for 2 car payments. So you may have that as an option too. After a month, it's going to hit your credit report, obviously. It's going to be a little bit more difficult because now you have a lower score and you have the repossession that's there. The good news about a repossession, like you're probably like, well, how's it getting good news? When they sell the car to the auction, that brings down the total balance that you owe. It kind of sucks because now you don't have a car and it's better to keep paying on that balance. Most people don't, which you can do, that's fine. And then eventually it's going to get charged off, of course. Once it's charged off, it still, of course, affects your credit report, which you still can dispute. And which, by the way, we can dispute repossessions for you. Some things come off, some things don't. We're going to make sure I put that disclaimer in there. That said, how do you go into getting the next car if your income doesn't qualify for 2 or you already kind of past that point? Is it that big of a deal per se? There are banks that will allow you, to do so. A lot of banks that are out there, different states have different banks, but you can always call the dealership and speak to the finance managers, guys, not just the salespeople. When you talk to an internet sales rep, because I ran a department like that, but we really gave people, oh my God, man, the locals were spoiled. We would give people a pre-approval over the phone. And when we gave people a pre-approval over the phone, it was legit. Like we gave them the cars that they needed, stuff like that. So some dealerships can do that for you. And that way you know what to expect when you get there. But it's best to talk to a finance manager, not necessarily, even a sales manager is cool too, but preferably the finance manager. That way they know the situation. That way you can send in all your documents. You can let them know what the situation is. Be honest. Because see, what you tell them is what they tell the banks. And the banks have different softwares that you don't know what they can see, right? They know where you work a lot of times. That like more and more client information is becoming, there's literally at the fingertips, right? And it is what it is. But you got to be honest with people. If your license is suspended, let them know. There are banks that will let you get a car with no license. Yes, it sounds crazy, but they'll let you do it. Now, obviously, these banks are going to come at some kind of price, right? And that's going to be a higher interest rate. Don't get caught up in that. What I mean by don't get caught up in that is still move forward if that's your only option. Here's why. Because you can refinance, guys. No one has bad credit forever unless you don't care, right? If you don't care, then you're gonna have bad credit forever, okay? But if you made a mistake, your credit is at a certain point and you're looking for ways to rebuild and things of that sort, you obviously need a car, then move forward and you can always refinance later down the line. So it's not the end of the world, guys. It's not the end of the world. So that's essentially what it's going to be, Number two, expect to put some money down. Okay. You just promised the bank that you were going to pay them on time. You didn't. They took the car away too. That means that not only were you late, but you were so late that you missed payments, and you missed so many payments that we didn't come get the car. And now you say the same story to another bank and you don't want to put any money down. That sounds crazy, right? But people have that story. So you got to be prepared to put money down, at least $2-3 grand, guys. You got to put some skin in the game. Okay. And it just shows a commitment. It shows that, hey, listen, I'm willing to do this because I understand my situation, and I had to do that. So we ended up getting a much smaller car at a higher interest rate. And after having that car for about 2 years, had I known what I know now, I would have tried to get my that loan at least refinanced 12 months later, because my score had shot up. I was like in the 400s, like ridiculous. And you got to try to get in the 400s, guys. I know the fives are like really normal. I won't say normal, but that's kind of like, that's expected if you don't have the best credit. But like 400s and 300s, fam, you got to try to get there. You got to be like, okay, I'm not paying anybody. So that said, it's like, okay, let me go ahead and, I have to pay something, right? So they get that. So I had the car loan and I said, okay, I had that. I paid that on time for 2 years. I traded that car in. That was at 14% interest. So it wasn't horrible. Luckily, my wife had decent credit. So she co-signed for us. And was at 14%. And thank God for Capital One, they came through. Now, if you mess up Capital One, Jesus, you got to. I mean, the bank name doesn't too much play a role on approvals and approval. But at the same time, we was able to finance with a premier lender after that, and the interest rate was, I think, under like 2%. And that was after 2 years, guys. And it could be faster than that. That was just the time that we did it. Because you remember, you can do whatever you want to when your score is a little bit higher. But we went from a smaller car to a larger car. And obviously I knew the car game, so that played a role, which, by the way, we have our car buying and leasing course that's a part of our 850 Club Elite. Shout out to the 850 Club Elite members. And so we were able to get that done. We were able to put that into place. So you can bounce back, guys. You're going to get approved. After that, you're going to get stuff in the mail. And they can really approve you. You may not like the cars, so you got to put more money down. If you can get a cosigner, great, right? And that's essentially how you are able to bounce back out of that situation. You have to do something. You have to say, okay, I'm either going to watch YouTube videos every single day and I'm going to start implementing things that I'm learning. I'm either going to talk to my family and friends, which that's tough because you got to let them know about your situation, obviously. But just do understand that their situation may be different than yours, so they can only give advice based on their credit reports. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So and if you're not sure, then hey, then you need a professional game plan. 850 Club's here to help you. We can give you that professional game plan on building your score where it needs to be, and you get access to all of our courses so you know how to go into the dealership strong. I'm actually going to put a photo up of one of my clients' cars, and just because I remember when he didn't qualify for anything, then he had to get a high interest rate. He got his credit score up. He closed on the house. Now he bought this nice Chevy Z70. I don't know what it's called. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? I'm sure the truck guys go crazy on the comments. But it's like Z71 or something like that, whatever it's called. And to see that in such a short period of time, that's the whole goal of 850 Club. So you guys can learn from not just my mistakes, but other clients' mistakes. And we craft that into that game plan to shorten that learning curve. That way you can be where you need to be. All right. So if you like this video, like it. You want to share it, share it. And as always, be sure to subscribe as we have nothing but great content on the way. Thank you.